Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction Company taking a look at some of the guns that they're going to be selling in their upcoming December of 2017 premiere auction. And what we have here today is a selection of Lugers modified by a guy named John Martz. Now, Martz was actually in the Navy during World War II, combat vet. When he got out of the Navy, he got into metal fabrication, specifically sheet metal work, professionally, and gradually developed a self-taught gunsmithing hobby. In 1968, he really put this to work on Lugers and P38 pistols. And what we're looking at today are some of the Lugers. Now, Martz did general gunsmithing, and he would fix Lugers and that sort of thing. But then he took it a step further and started doing a lot of custom work on guns. One thing that he did was develop a rather clever additional mechanism, modification to the Luger mechanism, what he called the Martz Safety Toggle Release, MSTR, and that's marked on the guns that have it. And this is basically a connection between the safety lever and the magazine catch, or the bolt hold open on the Luger. And what it allowed you to do is when, if the toggle was locked open and you switched the safety from fire to safe, it would automatically drop the toggle. This allowed you to either close the bolt when you were done shooting on an empty magazine, or after inserting a loaded magazine, drop the toggle chamber around and have the gun on safe. A neat little mechanism, and a lot of his guns had that installed. However, probably more impressively than that are the custom Lugers that he made, and that's what we have a selection of here today. He did three types in general, primarily. He did carbines, he did baby Lugers, and he did caliber conversions, including 45 caliber Lugers, and we actually have two of those to take a look at today. So let me show you those. The 45 caliber Luger has developed a following and a fanatical reputation in the US as this really ultimate unicorn holy grail gun. And a little bit of that is not deserved. They are extremely rare guns and they're extremely cool guns, although they're not quite as expensive as people think. That $1 million gun thing is really kind of that was a one-off occurrence. The second time that particular gun sold, it went for half or a third of $1 million. I guess that's still quite a lot of money. And the Germans didn't actually only make one. They made a number of them for testing by the US and a couple other countries as well, as far as I can tell. However, of course, it's extremely unlikely that any individual collector will ever get their hands on an authentic, original 45 caliber Luger. And so John Martz offering these extremely high quality, well, entirely custom made 45 caliber guns is a pretty cool opportunity. And of course, people took him up on that, which is why he was able to make and sell a substantial number of these. Well, substantial number. I think 8 is the one number I saw. He did 8 of the 45 caliber guns. They're an incredible amount of work. These guns have to have magazine wells that are both wider and longer than a standard Luger. And of course, virtually all of the other major components up in the top end of the gun have to be modified substantially as well. So my understanding is Martz actually took donor Luger frames and cut them in half, set them up in jigs, and then welded up extensions in the receiver to actually extend them front to back and side to side. Martz's guns were pretty much all made on commission, so whatever features you wanted you could get. Note that this one's blued, this one has this nice bright polished finish. We have a standard infantry sort of barrel here with a standard infantry rear sight. This blued one is actually a Navy pattern gun with a slightly longer barrel, a 2-position adjustable rear sight. On the 45 caliber guns, Martz added his own initials as the manufacturer mark on the toggle, which is pretty cool. This one is a presentation gun, as you can see engraved right there on the side, and it was given serial number 45 as well as caliber 45. Now, a lot of the parts are going to have serial numbers from original German production because something like a side plate here could be used direct from a donor gun. This MSTR indicates that he has added the Martz safety toggle release of his own design. And in this case, he's got these really nice looking tiger striped grips. And these are cut in the pattern of the very, very first Trials Lugers with that cool smooth border around the checkering. This one isn't a presentation gun, but it's still a 45 caliber Martz pistol. So I have to have the gun in the fire position there, and then I can lock the slide open. By the way, these 45 caliber guns have definitely noticeably stronger recoil springs than 9mm ones. At any rate, once this is open, whether there's a mag in it or not, I can close the toggle simply by engaging the safety. So that would render the gun either loaded and ready to put back in a holster, or empty if you just had an empty mag in it and ready to put away. Just a little bit simpler than having to grab the toggle and manually release it. Baby Lugers are another one of those super rare, collector highlight sort of guns. And Martz made those as well. In this case, we have one with a nice bright finish in 9mm parabellum, and we have one that is blued in 7.65 parabellum, or 30 Luger. And in addition to having shortened barrels, these also have shortened magazines and grips. So here's our Baby Luger magazine. Here is a standard Luger magazine, and it's been cut down by a round. My understanding is that Martz used all mismatched guns as his donors, but then went back and renumbered them to match once he was done with production. So you'll find Martz Lugers with a number of interesting original markings on them. In this case, DWM 1917 production piece. This blued Baby Luger conversion here is actually an American Eagle commercial crest gun. So, neat little features like that. I should also point out, I believe he did some Baby Lugers in 380 automatic as well, although I don't have one of those here to show you. And if you're going to make extra small ones, why not extra large ones as well? Martz did carbines like this one. Your choice of barrel lengths, basically. This is long enough that it is not considered a pistol, so adding the stock doesn't change its legal status. And this is actually not dissimilar from the original Luger carbine designs. You can note that this one also has that Navy two-position safety style, and just some really nice workmanship here. Big ol' serrated ramp front sight on it. Martz was a very highly respected and very talented gunsmith, as you obviously can see. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2013, and it's really cool to get to take a look at such a wide selection of the guns that he did. So there are actually a number more than just these that are up for sale here at Rock Island in their upcoming auction. So if you're interested in having any of these yourself, certainly if you want a 45 caliber Luger, these are the far more cost-effective way to do it than trying to find one of the very small number of authentic historical ones. So take a look at the description text below the video. You'll find links there to the catalog pages for each of these guys. And if you do some searching in the catalog, you'll find a number of additional ones as well. So, thanks for watching.